Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about beauty pie. I know I've been mentioning them quite a little bit these past couple of months. I've kind of decided to do it Kill Bill style and split it into two. That's four, into two. And I'm going to talk about makeup and a few of the miscellaneous bits you can get from them, and I'm going to talk about skincare next. But yeah, because there's just so much to talk about and I've tried quite a lot of it. I've been a member of Beauty Pie since I think April, so I have had the opportunity to try quite a lot of their products, but there are a few things that I haven't tried. I haven't tried any of their eyeshadows simply because none of their eyeshadow palettes have called to me. They all do seem to be like fairly like comprehensive standard ones, and I think you know, if you didn't have a basic eyeshadow palette, I'm sure it would be a good choice because the powder products I have tried have been good. I haven't tried any of their brow products because I use brow powder and it takes ages to go through, and also the same with cheek products. I don't typically switch up my cheek products all that often, so I haven't felt the urge to buy and replenish, but it's not because they don't necessarily look bad or anything, it's just because I haven't needed to. So how does Beauty Pie work? So Beauty Pie is kind of like Costco for makeup, where you become a member and it's £10 a month. When you sign up, it's a minimum of 3 months, so I can understand how that can put people off initially. However, there is how I started using Beauty Pie, because I was intrigued before, but I bought a Latest in Beauty box which had a 3-month subscription in it to them. And I know that they're doing that again in another beauty box, so I'm going to link that down below. So if you didn't want to sign up for the first 3 months, wanted a subscription box service, the stuff in it looks pretty cool, as well as a month's subscription to Beauty Pie, I'm going to link that down below. But yeah, what happens is, so you pay £10 a month, and with that you get a £100 typical spend. So when you go onto the website, you'll see that there's two prices that are listed. There's the typical price and the member price. So let's say this foundation costs £5, but the typical price is £25. So your spending allowance, it's £100, but actually it's £100 of the typical value. So in 1 month I would only be able to buy 4 bottles of this foundation if I wanted to. I think the reason they do it that way is so obviously more people get a subscription, so you're not just like lending it out to other people, and it's kind of like so you don't have like a Netflix situation where there's one person with 10 people on it. I think that's why they do it that way. So then you get £100 a month. If you don't spend it all, it rolls over to the next month, because there are a few products that are over £100 typical price. It's usually like their bundles with their brushes or their skincare bundles and stuff, so your money does always roll over. But yeah, so I've been trying it, yeah, I think for, you know, over 6 months now. As I said, I'm going to talk about makeup. I've got a whole host of their makeup products in front of me and I've popped it on my face, so you'll see little cutaways of me popping it on, because as I said, I've got a lot of it on my face today. First of all, I have the Matte Retouch Pore Minimizing Primer. I kind of use this just in the T-zone of my face. It is sort of got that like silicone-y feeling. Interestingly, it's done a better job of minimizing the pores on this side than on this side, but I just kept it sort of in the center of my face where I can get a little bit more oily, and also like my makeup can kind of disappear a little bit, whereas sort of like the parameters of my face, it typically tends to stay. So this is probably the product that I've used the least out of the ones I'm going to talk about today, simply because again I moved house and I got this like about a week before I moved house, and so it's just one of those things like it ended up in a box being moved, so it wasn't like in my makeup bag. But it feels nice, like it wasn't sticky or it doesn't feel heavy or anything, it sinks in quite nicely, and I've been able to blend makeup over it quite easily. So this one I need to try a little bit more, to be honest with you, but so far I'm enjoying it. If you like to use something like the Benefit Professional, I think this is a little less thick than that, and it's white, not sort of like a nude colour. So but yeah, it worked nicely. I would use it again. So next up, I've got two sort of base products to talk about. I've got one on my face and one I don't have on because I think I spoke about it in my last favourites. So I was like, if you want to sort of see how that looks on my skin, I apply it in that. So what I've got on my face today is their Great Skin Foundation, and I use the shade 50, which is in super light. And I actually used 2 tools to apply it. So I used their buffing brush, I believe it's what it's called, Seamless Buffing Brush, Seamless Foundation Buffing Brush is I think the full title, and I also use their sponges. So I'm going to chat about those at the end when I'm talking about like a few of the miscellaneous bits, but I did use 2 tools to apply it on the face, and I just think this is a really good sort of standard foundation. So I actually bought one for my housemate because she was sort of like in a bit of a bind with foundations and she didn't want to spend tons and tons of money, and I sort of said like, well, this foundation's about £7, and so I let her use some of my allowance and Anyway, yeah, so, you know, if I'm like, hey, like I recommend this foundation, I think for me, like it's a nice buildable medium coverage foundation. I find it quite comfortable on the face, and I think you can apply it with sort of sponges, brushes, or your fingers as well. I just find it really versatile. The reason I picked this one, I think they've got 3 foundations and 1 tinted moisturizer on there, and I picked this one simply because it had the most reviews and the most positive reviews. I do find that really helpful because, you know, on one hand you're paying less money because there isn't shop fittings, but obviously you can't go into store and swatch things and try things out. So I think their review section is something that I actually do vet quite a lot. Because you do have that limit on what you can spend, it's not just sort of like, oh, I'll buy a foundation in 3 colours, because that can get quite expensive, wasteful, and also you're using up your allowance. So but yeah, so I got the lightest colour. It matches my neck. You'll see in the clip I did like half and half and I looked choice. But anyway, but yeah, no, I really do like this foundation as sort of like a nice basic foundation. It doesn't have any SPF in it, which, depending how you look at that, could be a good thing, because like sort of if you wear it on a night out and stuff. But yeah, I do really like this foundation. The other foundations didn't have as high ratings, so and this is sort of the one that they push, but it is a good one. So the product that I don't have on my face today is their newest sort of base offering, which is their sheer tinted oil-free SPF 20, and I use the colour Fair. So with this one, I've already spoken about this, as I said, in my current favourites video, which again I'll link down below for you if you want to have that a little watch. And so some of these products you can really sort of see the inspiration or sort of the more higher end products that it mimics. And for me, this is so much like the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, particularly the oil-free one, because that's the one I used, and this is also oil-free as well. So if you like that, I haven't used that in a good few years now, but I did really like it when I went through it. I think this is really similar. I think it's a bit of a shame that this came out sort of like towards the end of summer, but it's good. I really do like it. If I want sort of like a little bit more of a lighter base, I will use this one. I've only used my hands to apply this because I don't think I've ever tried applying a tinted moisturizer with a brush. Maybe I will. Anyway, but yeah, this is a really good no fuss product. So the finish of the Great Skin Foundation, it's sort of like a natural matte. Like it's not dewy by any means, but it's also not like a flat or powdery matte. It's just sort of, yeah, sort of natural matte is the best way for me to describe it. Whereas this does have a little bit more of a shine to it, but not sort of, it's not dewy, like it's not glittery or anything like that. It's just sort of, I guess, has that quality that tinted moisturizers have, where your skin just looks like you've just put a moisturizer on. So it definitely has that. So I feel like I do powder this, but I feel like I have to powder this one just due to my skin type. But yeah, I like them both. And I'm happily sort of interchanging both of them at the moment as my daily foundation. So next up, I've got 2 concealers to talk about. First of all, they've got one in a pan, which is called the Unbeatable Concealer, and this is in the shade 50. Again, and it sort of says it's camouflage colour. Again, I don't know if this is one colour, but part of me feels like it's kind of similar to the Secret Camouflage by Laura Mercier. But yeah, it's just sort of like a more hard cream in a pan concealer. And admittedly, I'm super duper lucky at the moment that I'm not having any blemishes. There it is there, which is, I guess, what I would like mainly use this for. I think for these type of concealers, sometimes they can be a little bit hard to blend, whereas this one blends really nicely. I did put a little bit under my eyes today, and sort of like a little bit down the bridge of my nose, because that's kind of where I need a little bit more coverage. And even though it is sort of like in this type of format, sometimes these can be sort of a little bit more hardy and more sort of like redness on the face or blemishes and stuff. But actually I find it does work under the eyes quite nicely, particularly when paired with this concealer, which I love. This is the Super Luminous Concealer. Again, I use the shade Fair 100. So this is sort of their specified under eye concealer, and it comes with a sponge applicator where you squeeze the product out, and it doesn't necessarily blend the product in. You definitely have to blend it in sort of with your fingers or with a sponge or whatever you fancy. Mine's looking a little bit grim. But yeah, I really like this, and you can see that they've definitely considered this for under the eyes, because it definitely has that peachy undertone to it. Funny enough, like I checked to see if you could see on the camera, and you can't. When I was filming, you couldn't really see how truly peach it is when you're putting it under the eye, but that sort of counteracts dark circles. And I mean, I'm looking in the camera, and because I have pretty hefty dark circles, and I find that this does a nice job of sort of toning them down a little bit. But yeah, I've repurchased this one. This is the second one I've gone through, and I really do like it. So if I had to pick out of these two, I would pick this one, but that's simply because I've been, you know, very blessed and I haven't really had that many blemishes or anything, so I haven't had to really reach for this one because I've been getting enough coverage from my foundation. But it is a nice concealer. I just prefer this one for what my uses for concealer are at the moment. Next up, I have a powder to talk about. This is their Super Translucent Powder in translucent, and hang on, I'm going to tip it a little bit. So it's got one of those sort of like mesh filters. It is like a loose powder, but so that means it doesn't sort of all come tipping out at once, which I quite like because and I also quite like how sort of small it is, because again, I find, although I do have a makeup collection, I like to sort of work from a makeup bag and sort of like interchange my stuff out of it rather than going through my drawers each day, and I don't have a dressing table either. So having something compact like this and being a loose powder, like I think it's the best of both worlds, where you have that more finely milled sort of texture that you can get and people want from a loose powder, but you also manage to, you know, not have it absolutely flying everywhere or taking up half your makeup bag. So I must admit, I'm really into Wowder at the moment. I mentioned it again in my current favourites, and that's the powder I've been really enjoying, and it has got a similar packaging style to this. I have been enjoying things over it, like when I got it, because the thing is with Beauty Pie, you get like 5 products at once and you're like, oh my god, what do I want to try? Da, 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 da. And you're not really, I don't know, I think this is just, again, similar to the primer. I don't know if I ordered them at the same time. Like, they were the products I guess I was less excited about, so they're the ones that I've tried. Again, I haven't tried this one as much as I probably should have. But that being said, like today, like what I've done is I've just used sort of like a nice sparsely packed duo fibre brush, and I've set under my eyes and just dusted the rest of my face with it. Again, that's partly to do with this foundation, because I don't think it needs like overly powdering around the rest of my face. And I like the way it looks. I think it's done a good job. It's definitely like comfortable, like it's not like overly powdery or sort of stark or anything. I think it's sort of settled into the skin quite nicely, and I think I'm gonna probably put it to the test a little bit more. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one too. So moving on, I've got mascara to talk about now. I have tried and finished up completely another Beauty Pie mascara, and that one is the Flash False Lash Mascara. It's not easy to say. I filmed an empties video the other day and I was like, da, 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 da. So yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on that, I did definitely go through that, and I did mention that I preferred that one to this one, which is the one that I've got on today, which is the Superfan Wide Eyes Mascara. So if we're going to relate them to, you know, products that are sort of commonly known on the market, I would say that the Flash False Lash oh, I hate it. I think that one's more like the Benefit sort of, they're real, like it definitely has that sort of plastic wand with sort of spiky wand, and it's smaller than, like the actual like brush tip is smaller than that of the Benefit one, but it works really well. What I did find with that one is you could layer it up really easily, so the end product I quite like, but it took me like a little while to sort of, because you could just keep on going. I did find myself using quite a lot of it, and also it taking a while, but because I think the mascara was like £4, I mean, I didn't really mind. Whereas this one, as you can see me trying it on, this has definitely got a lot more of that sort of Better Than Sex mascara vibes to it. It's definitely like a fluffy, big fat brush. It comes bent. I didn't bend the one that came as like that, so I think in part that's so you don't get it on your face, although I did manage to get it on my face today, didn't I? And I do like this one. I think because I've had it a little while now, it's starting to dry out and it's sort of getting to that really like sweet spot, so I feel bad sort of like, I don't dislike this mascara, I just prefer the other one. So out of the two of them, I would personally repurchase the other one, although I think they have another one again, so I think I might try that one out as well. But yeah, they are both good. I guess it depends what sort of wand you like, because they are completely different. Can you guys hear that? It is like so grey and disgusting today, and it literally sounds like I'm about to take off. I hope I don't. Anyway, but this one is good too, so I guess it depends on what you like. I don't believe any of the mascaras that they do at the moment are waterproof, so if that's something that you look for, Beauty Pie don't have that at the moment. But yeah, anyway, last on the makeup front, I have 2 lip products to talk about. The one that I've got on at the moment is actually, I think, one of the first Beauty Pie products that I ordered. Do you know what? I know I have 2 of these liquid lipsticks, but for the life of me, I can't find the other one. I think the other one's the more rosy tone. So this is New York Nude. What do they call this? It doesn't tell me the full name, but this is their liquid lipstick. And it's what I've got on today. And I think it looks, I've got to be honest, I think it looks a little bit better on camera than it does in person. It's just simply, I don't know if it's just one of those things that I'm kind of a bit over that sort of like really flat matte in nudes. With like more bright coloured formulas, I definitely prefer that liquid lipstick sort of look, whereas with, I think, just nudes, just because it's more of an everyday thing, I think I prefer like a more traditional sort of lipstick, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, so this one's New York Nude, which is sort of, they're more, it kind of looks quite peachy at the moment, but it's sort of like more of a brown nude. And I'm looking at my lips right now, I've got my mirror here. I don't know if you can see. You probably can. And you can, and to be fair, on camera it looks great. Oh god, I got some eye teeth as well. Oh, this is cute. I can see like where the lines in my lips product hasn't gone, so I don't know if I have to put it on like this to make sure that that doesn't happen. I must admit, like, I tried these out. I can't remember what else I ordered when I first had that 3-month subscription, but I ordered these 2 liquid lipstick and I wasn't crazy on them, to be honest. So I don't know what spurred me on to try some more stuff, but I think it might have been the Super Luminous Concealer actually. Yeah, I'm not crazy on these. I just think there's better formulas out there, to be honest. Like, out of sort of all the stuff, this is, I probably wouldn't try any more of these, to be honest. Like, I've got 2 of them and they're fine. Once you let them dry, and I think that's the key, you have to let them dry, they're fine. Like, it's not bothering me at all having it on my lips, but it's one of those things, if you catch it when it's like almost dry, like your lips stick together, but that's the same with a lot of liquid lipsticks. I just don't think this one's that special, to be honest. But what I do really like is their, I'm assuming this is their matte formula. It's their sort of their traditional lipstick. This is in the colour Cowboy Nude, and I believe this has been in a favourites video. And this is what I sort of mean by like a nude colour, which is, this is sort of more of a browny nude colour, which is definitely my vibe. This one's super duper comfortable, and yeah, I guess that's just what I prefer in a day-to-day nude colour. Although I suppose if I was going like out and I had like a really bright eye look, maybe I would lean for something like this, just sort of complete the look so it doesn't, I find that when you're sort of in full beat, something like a nude liquid lip can work. In regards to nudes, prefer this. I must admit I haven't tried any of the brightly coloured in either formula, and they also do have glosses, lip liners, and I think a more, so this is their like matte formula lipstick, but I do think they have like a shiny lipstick formula as well, which I haven't tried. But out of the lip offerings I've tried, I did want to try the sort of nude one back on again, and it, like, as I said, like, I think on camera, from what I can see my teeny tiny screen, it looks a lot better than it does in person. Being real here, but hey. Anyway, so there's a few little bits that I want to talk about. I've got 2 sort of application processes to talk about, and I alluded to them before when I was talking about the foundation. Where is it? Aha! So first of all, the one that I tried was the buffing brush, the Seamless Foundation buffing brush, and I want to say this is like £4.50. For £4.50 for a brush, this is phenomenal, to be honest. Like, I think, this is the only brush that I've tried. I do want to try, they've got like a brush kit, and I definitely do want to give that a go, and they do have a few other singular brushes. I do think they could expand their eyeshadow brush range, because I think they've got the same amount that they do for eyebrows for eyeshadow, but you know, I haven't tried them, so I think the next sort of brush thing I'll do is I'll probably buy the brush kit that you can get. They do have like a brush kit that you can get in like a little brush case as well, and I think that's also reasonably priced, but for a buffing brush, like, this is everything that you want. When I, admittedly, so when I was putting the foundation on, so I tried it with the brush first. Now, I've been using sponges a lot recently, so you know, and see, that's I suppose like the pros and cons with using sponges and brushes. Like, I definitely put far too much product for half of my face onto the brush, so that was definitely my application as opposed to the brush itself. But, you know, full disclaimer, I was using the brush initially, and then I did end up sort of evening it all out with the sponge. This is really good, particularly for the price point. This is amazing, nice and easy to use. Like, it doesn't feel cheap at all, like it doesn't feel like it costs £4.50. But it did. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to try, is more of their brushes, because from what I've tried, this is a nice one. So if you do like a buffing brush for your foundation, this is a good one. But as I mentioned, you may have seen the sponge, it's a little bit discoloured because I've been using it, but is their sponges. So this is one of their more recent releases, and you actually get a pack of 2. This is their Flawless Foundation Blending Sponge. When it sort of comes in the packet, it looks a little something like this, and they actually come like pretty small. So when it like came in the packet, I was like, oh, like this is pretty tiny, but actually it oh my god, I kept one because I knew I wanted to do this video, so I've just been using this one, and wow, this does need a wash. Like, I haven't washed it in a couple of days, sorry. I mean, like, you know what I mean, I haven't like shampooed it in a couple of days. Anyway, I really like these sponges. I think they're actually really good. I think they're better than the Real Techniques ones. Oh, I haven't had a real beauty blender in a while now, to be honest with you, so I can't comment, but like sort of when you have side by side the Real Techniques and this one, like this one is like infinitely more soft, whereas the Real Techniques, like you can really like feel the toughness to it, and that's typically what people talk about when they compare the two. So as I said, I haven't had a beauty blender in a long time, and I don't have one on hand to directly compare, but out of the ones I've tried, like this, I'm really enjoying the way that it applies my foundation at the moment, and you get two for not even that much money, so I think this is definitely a secret gem of what they do, and I would keep buying these. These I think are great. It's not just the Great Skin foundation, like it's a whole host of foundations that I've been trying. I've been using this and loving the results, so this is a secret winner, 100%. I do also have some lashes by them. Oh god, how disgusting I am where I've trimmed my lash, stuck it on the front. Anyway, so at the moment you can only get this pack. So this is their False Lash Pro collection called the Mixer, and this is at the moment all that they've got. And as you can see, they've got sort of two of sort of some really natural ones, two of some like more jazzy ones, and one pair of like really jazzy ones. Now I have tried on all three. This is what I've got left. I put the big ones back in them, and these are fucking huge. So this size ones, they're like probably a little bit too big for me. I wore them on a night out because I was like, hey, like this is probably like, and we went to like, I don't usually like go to like clubs, I usually go to pubs or bars, and so I was like, hey, I'm actually going to a club, like this is the time for me to wear these. And they were like I feel like I could start like a hurricane or a tornado wearing them. Oh my god, I've got the other bit here, I'm minging. So those are personally a little bit too big for me, like for sort of if I'm like just going to a bar on a Saturday night like there, or like to a wedding, I wouldn't wear them. But I mean, I guess I think lashes can be quite personal. Similarly with the small ones, they're super duper light and super duper comfortable and all that jazz. I mean, these are comfortable too, to be honest, but these ones I personally couldn't really see them. I think these are like maybe for people who wear like lashes every single day, like, or just want something like super duper light. But personally I kind of felt like it was a little bit pointless. Like I don't think it really added that much to them, to be honest. And these ones here, sort of like the middle ones, I would really, hang on, is that better for you? I would prefer, because they have like brown mixed into them, and I'm somebody who like loves black mascara, doesn't fuck with brown mascara at all, because I typically wear eyeliner. I didn't wear eyeliner today because I wanted you to see the effects of the mascara, but you know, like I usually really go for like that sort of like black look, so having them mixed with brown I think is personally not for my taste, but they're my favourites out of all of them, just because they are that happy medium. Would I buy this kit again? Probably not, but I imagine they might expand them so you don't have all three. I imagine at some point they will release, either you can get 5 of one or some more styles, I don't know. Oh, it did also come with glue as well, which don't know what that is, but so to round out the video, I did want to talk about their candles. So this is something that they sort of, I didn't really know which video to put this in, and I feel like I've got more to say in the skincare video. So yeah, this is the White Peach Jasmine and Musk candle. This is the only one I've tried so far, but I definitely would repurchase them. I think what's maybe a little bit annoying is they've sort of put it at the diptyque price point for the typical price, so it's £40 of your allowance. That's almost half of your monthly allowance, so I guess it depends if there's nothing you really want. Is that when you would pick them up? But I feel like it's a bit annoying that you can only get like 2 candles if you wanted. Anyway, but this one smells really nice, it burns great. Do you know what, when I got it in the box, like the box fucking stunk, and I was like, oh god, this is like gonna give me a headache. But actually I think it distributes like a good amount of scent. I have it in my bedroom, and I have quite a large bedroom, and it seems to absolutely fill it. Like if you sort of like leave the room and come back. Buying candles on the internet, if you can't smell them, it's a bit annoying, but you can definitely see sort of candles which are in the high-end market like Diptyque or Jo Malone and stuff like that, where you can see that they've got like a similar scent pairings. So yeah, I think the Orange Bitters and the Clean House are on my wish list for sure. But this one is really nice, and I would have this one again, personally. Anyway, that is it for me today. This has definitely been longer than I thought. Do you know what? I thought this would be a 15-minute video. It has not been, but thank you so much for sticking around. I think I'm going to do the skincare video in about a month's time, in a month, 6 weeks time, because I've got to be honest, what spurred me on to do this video is I did have a skincare delivery from Beauty Pie today, but there's a few products in there that I haven't tried, so I want to give them a test before I start talking about the skincare side of things. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions about Beauty Pie, how I find the service, etc., please leave them down below. A bit worried that I haven't 100% explained well how it works, so if you do have any questions on that, please feel free to ask. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Bye! Just want to point out, it matches my neck, alright?